Hello, and welcome to our very first look at Burden of Command. This is a upcoming tactical World War II game where you play sort of as the band of brothers. The idea is that it is a very heavy story base. It is the true grim trials of war with turn-based tactical combat as it goes on. We're taking our very first look at it today. It's coming out next month in April. We're going to play as the Cottonbalers campaign because it's the only one we have unlocked right now. And let's go balanced because I got a feeling this game's pretty rough and tumble. And I want to see what it's all about. Poor Sergeant Grant's looking rough. That first mile, the 24th of September, 1942. Virginia, United States. Warning, the campaign occasionally shows disturbing images of graphic violence intending to convey the true burdens of war. If this is not a fit for you, please consider taking a walk. Click anywhere or press the number key.
This is Luke Hughes, lead designer for Burden of Command.
Hi, Luke.
I'm breaking through the fourth wall today. Ouch! To thank you. Thank you for taking a risk on something new. A leadership RPG. Now, I imagine you're here hoping to test your mettle as a leader, emotionally, morally, tactically, in World War II. For us to give you that experience, it means a risk for you. What's the risk? Well, a new approach obviously requires a learning curve, and we all know learning curves can produce confusion, hell, even frustration, and playtesting has shown that there is a learning curve for Bird.
True.
Two kinds. The easier part, where you learn new mechanics, not tried before, and then the much harder ones, where we break some of your likely pretty ingrained assumptions about how, for example, repeated shooting will kill an enemy unit. We instead do something called the 4Fs, which we'll get into later. The point is, I'm going to be breaking in occasionally here to help you with video demonstrations, along with some design explanations about why we break these conventions.
Interesting.
And remember, it's all to give you a credible leadership role-playing experience. And hey, we know these fourth wall break-ins may be jarring at times.
True.
But extensive playtesting has shown these videos can really help your journey.
Good to know.
Please, keep an open mind. And hey, Cottonbaler, good luck out there.
We got dev diaries built into the game. Tell me a little bit about this game. Let's just dive right in, I think. Morning dew dribbles down the bright leaves of the forest. Ahead, Platoon Sergeant Bennett leads the way beneath the canopy. That should be the hill, he notes, and gestures towards the rise to the east. Bit of a walk, but we're close. On his back is slung the standard issue American M1 rifle, a near twin to your own. You said that 10 miles ago, Sarge. If you say so, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett replies. He sounds confident, but looking like you've got a plan is certainly a part of leadership for sergeants and lieutenants alike. Sergeant Bennett has been in the Army since before the big draft in the 40s. He knows his way around. I've been with the Army for a while, too. Oh, Prestige +1. 90-day wonder, Trust 10, a recently commissioned lieutenant. How well your men react to orders within a scenario. 10 trust is approximately 1 prestige or loyalty. And I'm a reservist returning to the Army. Loyalty +1. So we could go prestige, loyalty, or trust. Let's go trust. I want my men to trust me. The ink is hardly dry on your commission, at least by regular Army standards, but 90 days of intense training have made you feel like you could take on the world, which is good since the Germans and Japanese seem to be busy trying to conquer everything. The U.S. has yet to send many divisions overseas, but really it's only a matter of time.
So here I am in boot camp somewhere in Virginia, 1942, just like you will be soon. I'm going to start with our first concept that will be familiar and unfamiliar. Your first learning curve aspect.
I'm always in the opinion that you should tie that stuff into the gameplay.
In tactical games these days, we use action points. We call them orders, and they have the green dots. So this leader has 4 action points. And no surprise, when he say moves, he spends an action point, which you can see happening there.
The U.S. Army will go to war in earnest soon. As an officer, your duty will be to lead the men of your platoon. You just have to find them first. Mouse over the book icons for history and image notes. Left click this leader and then click to move him here. Get a little zoom in, a little zoom out. We got engineers and we got Lieutenant Unnamed. Fourth wall break tutorial, definitely a choice, yeah. Closer now. Hills and mountains are always further than they seem. The gray circle you saw float up indicated the expenditures of an order. Burden of command runs on orders. Every unit has one. You can't do anything at them, but gets shot without one. Orders are usually spent to move a unit. You can usually move a unit multiple times. I guess I also have to remember that I am a veteran strategy pro, so things that are natural to me are not necessarily natural to a newcomer. It looks like the kitchen patrol is still on their way to the obstacle course, and if we let them dog things, they'll never get there before dinner. Okay, so white is where we can move. Lighter is what we can see. I'll order them to move up. Verbosity may add personalization and conversation. Reflects how much a leader likes to talk. So my men trust me. Do I want to yell at my men a lot? Yeah, I'm going to yell down at those men.
This is a leadership RPG. We're always going to be focused on bringing out leadership aspects. In the Army, leaders are in charge of platoons, which is a group of squads or companies.
Okay.
And so there's a command structure, and we do that too. This is a squad here, part of my rifle platoon. For it to do something, I've got to order it. Or, if you want to make it simpler, activate it. So, did you see an order came up on me? Not just a squad. I'm just going to say order from now on. But I paid an order because effectively I ordered the squad.
Interesting. You yell down in a commanding tone conditioned by training they obey. A squad must be activated to utilize their own order. A leader will spend an order to activate a squad when that squad initially shoots, moves, or whatever. Once the squad has been activated and have enough direction that they can expend 2 or 3 orders without requiring a further order. That's really, really interesting. Move the squad here. Squads move slower than their leaders. I wonder, is there like a range in which you can move your guys? Leader must expend an order. Yes, yes, yes. Call for double time.
This squad has been activated. The leader no longer needs to pay an order.
I like this concept of the leadership.
It, and you'll see, no action.
Time to wrangle some chickens.
Spend another order.
Or cats, perhaps. Order the squad to move again. This time it won't cost. Yes, okay. They are kind of doubling up a few of the things that they tell us, but... Oh, and we could group up on the leader. That's also very cool.
So I'm going to come down there, join my squad, lead, grab them both, and go somewhere. Now this time, they'll both pay an order. But be careful, it's not an activation order. They're both moving. You don't get a free ride. You got to pay for the move too. So, there you go.
All right.
We're similar to games you're used to. Action points. But in this case, they're really orders. And they involve things like squad.
The way he says that just makes me think, oh, this is gonna get really complicated, is it? Here they are. Sergeant Bennett notes Sergeant Layton, no relation, and his kitchen patrol reach the summit. Can you see the obstacle course from here? He nods affirmative. His fellow spud peelers are all but ready to drop. If only they were in better shape. From this height, you can also see a little stream whose serpentine channels marks the bounds of your own trading area. The stream isn't far, which is a good thing. Like other terrain, it costs more movement points to cross than flat open land. You won't always be able to get somewhere in a single order. One last push. Put your boots on the stream. Spent perhaps, but in position nonetheless. First, you have to detach from Layton's squad. The first left click selects both units. Second left will either the leader portrait or the squad below. Do not follow Luke's example in this video and instead rebel and left click the leader portrait repeatedly until only the leader is highlighted. All 4 units are in the same platoon as indicated by the dotted regions. The solid circle indicates which unit is currently selected. Just part of the platoon. Leader selected, unit selected, both unit and leader selected. Gotcha. unit, both, unit, both. Ah, okay, you have to click on just the portrait.
Honestly, it would have been simplest to design the game as 1 unit per hex, like many games do.
But
Frankly, it just felt wrong not to have leaders in with their men leading them. So we committed to simple stacking. 1 leader, 1 squad per hex. So then how do you manage selection? It's simple. Click any unit in a hex, both.
okay, we just learned this.
Because you probably want to move both of them normally. But maybe you just want to move the leader this time. Click again.
Give me a skip option.
And here I am. So I'll do the same thing again.
Lieutenant unnamed until probably the first proper mission. It feels, yeah, likely.
And both.
Down by the stream. Let's take a breather, Sergeant Bennett suggests. We're almost there. Your leader should be out of orders. 3 to move your leader, 1 to activate the KP squad. The KP squad itself moved twice. The normal amount for a green rifle squad. Orders refresh at the start of a new game turn. Veteran squads get more orders. Veteran squads or special combat units might have orders of 3 instead of 2. Veteran officers might have 5 instead of 4. Let's leave that for later. Currently no enemies around just past the turn. So I'm going to move my dumb face. I think we'll just put me up here. And hopefully that's okay for chat. So, and turn. The forest thins, and at last you spy a hint of civilization, a little wooden bridge that crosses a gully and a low wooden wall beyond it. The clearing should be up ahead, Lieutenant. Bennett calls back to you. A movement order can span a single hex or 4, but the order cost remains the same. The assembly point is a simple one marked by a low retaining wall striped with white. At the sight of it, Bennett flashes you a grin and stashes the map. There's a figure waiting in the lee of that wall, a fellow officer with the silver bars and a captain upon his collar and a dreaded clipboard in hand. You're nearly late, Lieutenant, the field umpire notes as he regards you. The pencil in his grasp has doomed plenty of officers to obscurity with a swift judgment. Salute. He gives a firm warning cough, but it comes too late. The field umpire shakes his head slightly. When out in the field, such gestures are apt to attract snipers. Ah, man. Sarcasm. Ooh, I really like these stats so far. Sarcasm does not have an impact, but it may provide personalization during the interactive fiction. Nearly late isn't the same as late, sir. I'm going to be a sarcastic guy. I'm a man of the people is what I'm going for right now. Nearly late is late. On time is late. And early, also late. Today, you undertake a leadership constricting exercise of no less than 3 separate field problems. You and your men will be assessed based on your outcomes, including both objectives achieved and casualties sustained. You take command of your rifle squad and we will proceed. Any questions? What's the mission for this field problem? We'll get to that shortly. They like their surprises. Where's my rifle squad? Over there. They should not be hard to find. And the rest of my platoon? Your sergeant is bringing them forward after they complete the obstacle course. For now, you'll command a single squad. Sergeant Grant isn't a fellow to be late, I'm sure of it. There's a reason to be hopeful. Bennett is the platoon sergeant, and Grant, what the Army currently calls the platoon guide, has us confident. Is this live fire? No. There may be the occasional live fire round safety fired safely for effect, but otherwise no unit is in possession of live rounds. Budget constraints. All right. Squad is not far away. This path uses the fewest movement point, but it doesn't utilize terrain. Control click to establish waypoints and stick to covering terrain when possible. Finish the exercise before turn 4. Don't get anyone killed. Select your leader and move to this squad by expending a single order. Blam! The field umpire calls out from behind as you move over open ground. Lieutenant Einstein, you could move over open ground where a sniper could see you. That's a potentially fatal risk to take, and a dead leader is no help to anyone. Unless you got a good reason to avoid moving through cover, you might as well make an effort to get shot. Right. Waypoints. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Carry on. Hello. How you doing, dude? When an order says 14, you show up at 13:45. Can't confirm. Wearing gold bars is going to get your arse shot by a sniper as well. Respectfully, sir. I think they were silver bears, but it's the same difference. He's right, Lieutenant. There's no point in polishing a turd. Best get moving before someone decides we get shot again. I got confused because I didn't see the river, and the river was in the example, but that's honestly great way to teach you the lesson. Lieutenant, you are revived from the sniper call. Continue with the exercise. Our squad looks beat. It's true by all appearances. They can't possibly take another step. Some might say their morale is low. Right now, it's dog dick low. Looks like they've been suppressed by enemy fire, but they don't have to stay that way now, do they? Directness? Ooh. I could give them a speech. They will obey my commands or kick them into shape. Give them a speech. We're a verbose leader. You could, Lieutenant. It might even work if you lead them forward afterwards. Either way, I'll kick a little arse on you slackers. Good morale. Firefights 50-50, you win. Moderate morale. Firefights enemy is likely to win. Movement reduced towards enemy. Oh, cool. Your morale actually determines whether or not you can move forward. This is a very, very cool effect. Enemies will win. No movement towards enemies. You only get one order. Orders, full orders. Okay, cool. That's dope. I like that.
Thank you, Sergeant Bennett.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Reminding me I need to teach you about the backbone of your company's performance. It's morale. So here we have a good order squad. It's green, no suppression, has 2 orders, moves about 3 hexes, tries to move under fire, pass the morale check to do that, about 70%. And if it fires at an enemy, 50-50. Now notice those initiative wheels, donuts I like to call them. You really want to win initiative, because if you win initiative, you fire first, you suppress the enemy, reduce their morale, and their fire back will be weak.
Okay, that makes sense.
By contrast, at this shaken company, it's yellow, it's lost about half its morale to suppression. First thing to notice, subtly, is it only moves 2 squares forward, can still retreat, because they're more cautious, because they're shaken. Also,
it's sworn on the wish list for a while. It's pretty good. It's like Hades.
So
Would recommend.
Morale's actually reduce the total quantity of actions you can give this squad. Pretty bad. And guess, if you fire them, not going to go so well. You're going to lose. And
Voice for this guy sounds like a tech YouTuber.
Unlikely. Finally, let's look at these poor
It's
guys.
the dev,
About
right?
9 points of suppression. They're red. They're basically cowering.
I think there's 2 devs for this game. This is one of them.
You can still move them back to get
I
rallied.
think.
Maybe behind a hill or in some cover. I wouldn't bother trying to fire. Not going to work. And you can give up on assault. Now, friend, let's have a little fun here. This is a 3-star unit. Very experienced. What do you notice? It's got 3 orders, not 2. That's a big win. And guess how it's going to do in firefights? Very well. And guess how it's going to do on morale checks? Hey, it doesn't even have to pass a morale check to move under fire. Work hard, Captain. Maybe you'll have units like this eventually. Lead them well.
Cool. Rally will move suppression, also expends all the squads, but not the leader's remaining orders. A unit must not have expended any orders during the turn. It must be fresh. Okay. Fresh status is only determined by whether or not the squad has expended an order. Orders lost to suppression don't count. Your men want guidance and leadership. That's why you're here with them. Most leaders must be grouped up with the squad to utilize certain orders. A captain would be an exception to that, but not worry about that right now because all you have currently is a lieutenant. Select the lieutenant and then rally the squad and the leader. These guys are cowering. Bolster. Rally. Press. Support. Creep. And right-click the squad. That speech did the trick, Sergeant. Once we're organized, we can get on with the exercise. The field umpire tilts his head doubtfully. These men will be ready, but the question is, ready for what? I have rallied. When can I move? Next turn. If the enemy doesn't interrupt, the men will be ready to move shortly. You indicate as much to the umpire. He holds up a white flag for his opposite number across the field to see. A wave of blue flags are exchanged and the exercise will shortly resume. So long as the other side has a leader with an order, the turn won't end unless both sides pass the round.
Anyone got a light?
So we end the round. End the round one more time and a new turn should begin. Oh, looks like we got some backup. Kane from Command & Conquer games was a dev as well. He was one of the most beloved characters. True, true. Pee on their shoes, show dominance. I mean, in the military, I guess. Why not, right? You are ready. The men are ready. The enemy probably also ready. The enemy had a round to activate units and did nothing with it. Maybe we have a surprise on our side. No. Interesting that the enemy did nothing in response. Wonder what the clipboard wants to happen next, Sergeant Bennett asks quietly. As if on cue, the field umpire clears his throat. All right, Lieutenant Einstein. The enemy squad is in that house down there, he says and ignores Bennett as he points. You can hear the clockwork tick of his watch. Faint and steady. Deploy your men, take them under fire, and remember, this exercise is timed. Blazing Bishop, thank you for the raid. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rocking a little football manager. Nice. We're just checking out some Burden of Command today. Oh, I hope your stream went well. Welcome. It's a brand new game coming out soon. And we're literally just in kind of the tutorial phase of it at the moment. So join on in, folks. Shut your gap. No, do no such thing, right? I sound like a professional commentator, fella. New game. You know, I got that voice every now and then. Stream went all right. Was thinking, is this a new game? Yeah. So this is actually coming out next month. It's sort of a tactical turn-based Band of Brothers. It's really story-based and all about making tough decisions. It's an accurate depiction of the war, is what it's meant to be. All right, deploy your men, take them out. Squad versus squad, even numbers. This will be a tough one. Even odds. There was a lot of that in the last war. Movement in the trees. A dozen men more in olive drab working their way closer. These are your men, sweaty and dusted from the obstacle course. And at the back is Sergeant Grant urging the stragglers along. Favor the mission or favor the men? Oh man, I'm a man of the men. But this is a timed mission. I'm going to favor the men. Sure, Lieutenant, they'll always act dog-tired after a little sweat. Looking fresh and sweet is as bad as volunteering for anything. But give him a good reason to move, and Grant will get him in gear. I trained him myself. The platoon is together again, if not precisely formed up in the best position, while you ponder the fact the umpire's watch continues to tick. Let's bolster their spirits. Reachable hexes without bolster. That always boosts morale, though it doesn't last for long, but maybe it'll be just enough for what comes next.
Remember Sergeant Bennett's wise comment that morale is the backbone of your company's performance?
All right, so in this time, we're going to learn how to give you bonus movement.
The role of leadership is then? Of course, it's to
stream it all right. Was thinking, yeah, looks interesting. Yeah,
one of them is bolster. So
it's a small team, but I'm like very curious about it.
And if we were
the concept is cool.
50 on attack. It moves 3 squares. It has 70% morale check. But let's bolster it.
It has these videos that teach you how to play the game.
Hey,
I have mixed opinions about this style of teaching, but...
And look at the firefight. Bolster enhances an already good unit so it is significantly more effective, especially for firefights.
Good to know.
Experience and the trust of the leader comes to bear.
Oh, people do trust me. That's the thing we have.
However, of thinking of bolster as sort of a poor man's rally, rally for one action. I've moved the leader down to this shaken squad, half morale, and I'm thinking, well, it's pretty poor for firefight right now. Maybe I'll bolster it and it'll be fine.
Okay, so we rally for morale, we bolster for like
see the suppress predictions are a little bit better.
Guys to get their morale back up.
It's not a rally. If you want a unit with shaken or below morale to improve, rally.
Gotcha.
Rally, by contrast, fully restores morale for the long term.
Command and
Of
Conquer
course,
across with
it
Final
does take
Fantasy
a second to
Tactics?
do,
Yeah, a little
so
bit,
you'll
yeah.
have to pick the time and place for when you rally, for when you bolster, or for when you orchestrate your platoon and company
For when
to
you
be effective
lead.
all at once, rather than dribble in an attack on the enemy.
All right. Better than good morale. Firefights. Your leadership increases chance to win initiative, suppressing enemies before they can fire back. You succeed far more on assaults. Movement is increased, so you can flank, pass more morale checks. So bolster the leader and the squad. Right-click the squad. Hi-ho! We're ready! Where to, Lieutenant? Shall we have Grant march down or go ahead? A lot of things you might want to order, but there's never enough time for the men to carry out all of them. You can prepare to do what you can. Detach the squad, then move to and rally the squad. Move this squad with waypoints. Move the bolstered leader and squad. So I've got 3 orders left. This guy can only move like 1. I guess we have this tree line. I don't know if they can shoot through it, but your morale is also low. You have 3 squads and only so many orders. Left click to select all units in a hex. Left click to select only the specific one. Even if leader is grouped with it, orders will still be consumed. So these guys have a ton of movement. I kind of want to move them like through these trees to here. I think that's what I'll do. I'm kind of thinking about getting like a 3-way attack going here. Just the squad. The lieutenant talks too much. Pipe down, Hancock. That's funny because I'm super verbose. Tutorial needs a bit of polish, even if it's something as simple as click a watch video option. Yeah. Quick raid out, gonna shoot and relax. Oh my god, absolutely. Go take care of yourself. Do the after stream stuff. Much appreciated. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for bringing the peeps over. Trusting them. There they are, Sergeant Bennett says, as your men pass the word that they've been sighted movement in the house. The damn walls give them better cover than anything we've got. Nearby, the umpire with a clipboard makes a note, a lengthy one. Give the men some direction and the umps will take note. Sergeant Bennett says, your men prepare to place the revealed enemy under their crosshairs. Every little bit helps to build up our fire against the enemy before they do the same to us. Left click to select the unit you want to have open fire, and then right click the enemy. This will consume 1 squad order. Oh, we have a really good initiative chance here. And this won't take another order from him. Shoot here. If you are out of orders. I know the umpire was pushing us forward, but our squad just opened fire without a plan, Sergeant Bennett said. I'll bet we could get as good as the Jerry's if we have time to. Unsupervised and poorly invigorated fire likely resulted in little suppression, the field umpire remarks and writes something sharply in the margins of his clipboard sheet. Whistles blow, the exercise halts as the umpires get to work figuring out the damage to the enemy. Sergeant Bennett waits beside you. Halt the exercise! Lieutenant, you pushed ahead and did not form up your platoon prior to the attack. This would have resulted in some of your men being killed and additional time wasted while you regrouped for a proper assault against a now prepared enemy. Nod. By moving in too early, you could maneuver your men into an unwinnable predicament. That possibility is worrisome. We did all this, and for what? Prestige -1, but loyalty +2. Trust +10. I want this loyalty +2. The umpire pretends not to hear that, but you know that a mark will be made somewhere. Sergeant Bennett falls to you and you head back to the platoon. No matter what you choose, that ump was going to find fault, Sergeant Bennett says. Like being married, but without the fun parts. Hell, I bet getting something wrong was the point of the lesson. Moving just one squad ahead of the others was a bold choice, too. Can't deny that. And if it had been an ambush, well, you'd be saving lives. There was no good answer. We learn more from failure than success, but you only have to learn this lesson once, not teach it 100 times. War, actual war, will be a hell of a thing. That's what they say. Leaders have to lead not just when things are going well, but also when the chips are down. They made certain there was no good answer here because there might not be a good one over there. It's a lot to take in. All right. Draw. Ooh. No 1 out of action, sir. I kind of want to do it again and just like get it right, but
able to think ahead, anticipate a situation, and make a decision based on the best information.
The NCOs gave you more issues than the officers. That makes sense. At last, the fighting dies down. Nothing you could do about it. Why are you in the army? Duty? Defend my loved ones? Or I was drafted? Let's go defend loved ones. If we're a man of the people. Oh, aid my men. Click to read what they read. Are you a girl with a star-spangled heart? Join the whack. Cool. Oh, wow. Resources you spend on your men. Loyalty, prestige, replas. Your captain earns trust and XP on men versus mission performance. You can see overall unit status at a glance. Decide where to help. Make a change. You can undo. Global undo. Okay. During training, aid is more limited. During training, only XP and trust for leaders is able to be modified. Casualties in combat stress will appear when you enter combat. And then you'll need these other actions to aid your men. Nifco. Violens e potens. Select a portrait on the right. Review your men. Captain Lamb. Lieutenant Unnamed of the 1st Platoon. Lieutenant Wilson. Oh, man, when do I get a name? Dearborn. Stern. 1st Squad, 2nd Squad, 3rd Squad. Machine guns. PLT platoon. 2nd Quad, 2nd Platoon. Weapons, mortars. Okay, so it looks like Lieutenant Stern kind of leads our special weapons. We've got 2 machine gun groups and 1 mortar group. And then these guys are just regular squads. Loyalty is good. They like staying alive. Prestige represents your influence with the superiors. They like you winning battles. And replacements. Being in the midst of an extended fight makes them less likely. Superiors tend to give fewer replacements to companies that are doing well. You don't need them as much. If you're doing well on missions, you'll be able to find experienced replacements. Inversely, if you're struggling, you may receive more standard replacements. Cool. Devil's Brigade patch, a unit that was composed of U.S. and Canadian soldiers. This one? This, I'm assuming. The red patch on his arm legit? It said USA across Canada vertically? Oh, no, okay. No, I'm not sure which one you mean. I think these are all, these are all obviously real photos that have just been like recolored, touched up. I think, I don't know, this could be AI. It's like, look at the fingers. That's always the answer. These are drawn. Blue and white stripes are 3rd Infantry Division. Cool. Increase XP by 25 at the cost of prestige. Sure. Picture in the Discord. Of like an arrowhead. Interesting. Okay. 24th of September, 1942, Virginia. West Virginia.
Well, it was infantry. Infantry.
Oh my God. We get to learn from old men.
And cavalry. We didn't have horses.
Cavalry have
but
horses.
They had light tanks. The cavalry did.
So what kind of training then would you have in the infantry?
Bayonet. The bayonet. Hand grenade. You don't throw a hand grenade like a baseball. You lob it.
we're gonna need to know that. That's where you live, West Virginia? It's a fine place. Soldiers of the platoon, wary in their boots as they march back to their starting places. The morning run and the recent field problem have clearly taken their toll. Bennett glances your way, and the unspoken question of whether to quicken or slacken the pace lingers between you. Men will be slightly fatigued and suffer very little suppression. They will also acquire very little experience. Experience will eventually increase unit performance. The men will be fatigued, suffer a little suppression. They will also recover a little experience. We'll have them pick up the pace. I mean, we're here to train. Someone always breaks out into country roads when you travel. Yeah, no, that's it's got to be the case, right? Not even roads at times. It sounds wonderful, honestly. Take me to the country. You've been passed along the orders, and he calls a briefing halt. It isn't pretty line, but at least they aren't dogging about anymore. They gripe about the unjustly state of affairs. At the assembly area, the field umpire with the captain's bars idly adjusts his clipboard and then recites his expected line. This field problem concerns fire and movement, culminating with an assault upon the objective. Except this time, your platoon will have support from your weapons platform. Heavy weapons coming up, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett notes as a few dozen men from the weapons platoon march over. They don't have real 30 cals yet, just logs painted black. These are supposed to be heavy as the real thing, but the beefy officer leading the weapons platform carries a log as if it were no heavier than a baseball bat. Hey, stud, we're about to kick off, Not without us, Stern calls back, his voice carrying well across the wilds. You're almost late, Lieutenant. It was a long run from the target range, but I'll be the Krauts who will be doing the running when we take a crack at them. Today's objective is for the combined arms assault on the farmhouse down there. Time will be, as ever, a factor. We're going to wait until the umpire stops. Tell me what to hit, and we'll hit it hard enough for you to schlep right over there, he says, and then glances down at the 30 cal in his hand and chuckles. Well, we'll pretend to anyway. You're allowed only limited communication while the exercise is paused. In particular, the weapons platoon will be initially unavailable. And what completely valid reason is there for that? No, this seems reasonable. Because we want to see how your men perform with their rifles before we include the machine gun. Shooting expends up to 2 orders. 1 order to shoot, but 2 orders to move on an MG team. 2 and 2 for mortars. Okay. Stern gives you a knowing nod at the news. 2 of you depart for different platforms. You consider how best to develop the field problem. The 3 rifle squads are organized as part of the first platoon. The machine gun and the mortar are part of the weapons platoon. Each platoon has a leader in command. Stern is in charge of the weapons platoon. We got everything but tanks. Each platoon has different roles to play. Rifles expend, yada, 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 yada. Unit gains temporary morale if the leader is present. Suppression removed via rally. Suppression via combat shock casualties experience. Okay.
Bennett tells me
Tactics.
you're progressing, LT. So today we get to talk about
A bit
tactics,
sassy, but not terribly sassy.
Without further ado, why don't we go to, I think, the core of how we're different from most tactical games that the casual gamer or others might be familiar with, namely bang, 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 you're dead games.
Ah, yes.
This is true.
Bang, 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 you're
tactical
dead.
World War II games too. But I don't think of reality. You know, people don't want to die. You fire at them, they're going to get down behind the stone wall, and your bullets aren't going to do much. So, instead, you need what's called the 4Fs. So here we are in Germany.
Flank.
We've got elements of a
Fire.
rifle platoon. We've got Germans up north. And your goal is to suppress them first. You're not going to succeed in killing them. They're in pretty good cover, and they're going to put their heads down. So you've started firing, but it's not just bang, bang, bang even for suppression. You have to be smart. You have to use your leadership. You have to bolster. Improving their fire. The leader is directing the fire here. He's using a heavy weapon, which is intimidating, higher rate of fire, puts more bullets around the squad.
Bolster, suppress.
When you hear bullets whizzing by, you start to be suppressed, meaning you're keeping your head down.
Machine guns can fire more than once.
You can see the color bars here are telling us the state of the
flounce, flaunt, flee,
to yellow,
and fabulous.
Be at red. They've been doing an effective job here. He's suppressed.
All right, a whistle blows. The field problem to begin. Finish the exercise before turn 2. Select the squad, right-click to shoot. This consumes 1 leader order and up to 2 rifle squad orders. But shouldn't I like get into these trees? I don't want him to yell at me again. Shooting through the woods will not provide the enemy with cover, but the building that they are in certainly will. Stone walls stop bullets, Lieutenant, but they're not invincible over there. We've got the firepower. Let's have the other squad keep your heads down until Stern is ready. You give the order and your men take aim. The enemy is already partially suppressed, so this should be a little bit easier. Select this squad and also shoot the enemy. You signal Sergeant Grant across the way. He replies with equal vigor and gets the other squad into position. A glance through the binoculars reveals Private Roberts as the soldier squints through the circular iron sights at the distant target. Private Hancock, who apparently has again mislaid the protective ears on either side of his submachine gun sight, no doubt to remove something he considers to be a distraction. Let's ask Hancock about his weapon later. Hancock decides to alter his weapon if it was for good reason. You want to know. Same thing if it was for a bad reason. It's probably it for rifle work, Sergeant Bennett says, but we could give them a taste of the 30 cal instead. Some rounds, but lots more of them if we have permission to use a radio. No radios are available. However, we do have the flags. You could always send a runner, of course, slower, but more reliable if they don't get shot. What I really want is to employ the mortar. I mean, that's true. They are in a house. No counter to artillery, but when the shells get lobbed at range, when the umpire didn't want that, so it didn't happen. Firefights can be complicated. Hold the Alt key over to mouse over each section for a breakdown of what's going on. I'm going to signal with flags instead of a runner because I don't want my men to be shot.
We further reinforce that sense of limited command and control by dividing the turn into leader rounds. If it's your leader round, you only get to lead your men.
Makes sense.
You don't get to lead them doing Stern's leader round.
Okay. Have to switch leaders by ending their round. Have a chance to react by taking their own round, but that can't be helped. A little bit of the real star of the show will be the machine guns. They can spit out a lot of firepower under Stern's command. Coordination takes time. No way around it, even if we had real radios. Players round, enemy rounds. Stern round, enemy round, players round.
That end toward the enemy.
You could activate this squad, but do not do so yet. End the round. Generally, only one platoon leader can be leading at a time. Spacebar is the hotkey to end the round. After the enemy's had their turn, Stern opens fire. Unlike rifle rounds that can fire multiple times for each order, movement costs extra for the MGs. So, and the round with spacebar. Oh, okay. So I still have like points left. Okay, okay. I could bolster with these MGs. Next action only. More firepower. I mean, they're already cowering, but... You know what? I'm just going to do what the tutorial is telling me to do here. Sound to hear and fear, especially since the machine gun is firing at the enemy beyond the effective range of their rifles. It would have been better if we had bolstered his men first. You gotta be kidding me. Everything is timed. There was a lot of firepower worth the weight of carrying it forward, but if we really want to make them huddle and puddle, we'll need the mortars. Lieutenant Stern will spot the fall of his unit's mortars from the location. That's the only way to ensure accuracy. Leader can direct artillery from his position. Mortars don't need to be able to see the enemy to lob shells at them. They just need Stern to be in position to spot the fall of the rounds. They could sit safely on the reverse slope of a hill and still contribute to the battle. In fact, that's the way they would prefer it.
Lay it on him.
Right-click to mortar this enemy. Left-click Stern to spot with mortars. Mortars can use spotters for fire from cover, which is good because they take 2 orders to move or fire. Right-click to mortar this guy. Failed to bolster. Did I just get penalized for not bolstering again?
So, some of you will recognize this. But
Found, fired, fixed, finished.
So, now we have to, ideally, flank and finish. And Dearborn, let's hope you can do the job here. So it's really about sort of laying down the field work for success. There's a lot of games that focus on drama of melee, but from what I've read, for instance, in Leo Murray's book, actually most assaults led to surrender or retreat because people suppressed don't really want bayonets in the stomach.
Find, fire, fix, and finish. Oh, I guess fix is fix bayonets. Attack against beyond the flank. Attack against and beyond the flank of the leading hostile elements, followed by support platoon attacking hostile flank directly. Let's move on with the exercise. There we go. There ain't nothing a soldier can do about a shell that's got his name on it. The squad isn't considered dead and merely pinned. They'll stay that way unless you execute an assault to either take prisoners or force the enemy to retreat. Bang, bang, bang will not take positions or prisoners. The squad will just hunker down behind cover and wait things out. That's why you need to make an assault. Revealed enemy threatens these orange outline hexes. They could perform opportunity fire on units moving through them. These hexes are safe, but unrevealed enemies could still be out there. Let's take them in the flank. No one fights hard if you hit them in the kidneys from the get-go, and you can stay out of their sights so much the better. The odds of successfully initiating an assault can vary greatly. Even a moderately suppressed squad will almost never be able to manage it. But if a squad is in good morale, gets bolstered, and takes the enemy in the flank, well, they can almost always commence the assault. To see if the squad meets the criteria, look for the flanking morale boost indicator. Assault chance is greater than 97%. Okay. Call an A10 on them. Fix/pin the enemy. Okay, so not just fix bayonets. You might shoot at the enemy all day and only ever inflict suppression to make sure you remove the enemy from play, inflict suppression, and then take prisoners via the assault. Well, you guys still have like one more round, but they're already cowering. Select these units. Bolster these units. Bolster these units.
That's the way!
Assault these enemies via right-click after selecting the assault button. Control right-click to select a specific path. Yeah, so I don't want to go through there. Flanking morale boost.
Let's get it done!
And we went in with our leader. That looks like a big success. I'm seeing experienced stars. That's the way, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett waves you over as the enemy soldiers in the red armbands run off. They'll be harder overseas, but we've got the method down here. Another enemy squad has been sighted. They were attempting to reinforce the objective and now have begun a counterattack. You must deal with them. The green donut shows approximately 70% chance to initiate an assault. Initiating, not win. Winning depends on other factors. What? Where? I say. There. The umpire says, but doesn't point. Whistles blow and the exercise resumes at once. New enemy in the forest. Okay. The little green eye icon indicates one of your squads is still undetected by the enemy you can see. Some of the units might also be undetected by your squads. The green eye icon denotes that this is a given unit on either side. The fog of war cuts both ways. We got a major victory for both the men and the mission. So, like, can I mean, you've spent everything. Recon by fire may reveal hidden enemies if used to fire on seemingly empty hexes. Hold fire. Change facing. This would flank them, suppress them, but they have moderate smoke and target cover. Can I just, like, change my facing? Already facing that way, sir. Okay. All my guys are hidden, which is why I'm thinking, like, do I want to shoot them right now? Right? Especially when I have the MG here and he's got a point left. I could bolster this MG. The support asset must be within the spotting leader's chain of command. The morale of an on support is likely responding to a request from a spotter not on its hex. Morale above 10 improves this. Morale of both the asset and its spotter affects barrage artillery. I mean, my mortars have already gone. But I could bolster these guys and then open fire. That gives me a much higher chance. And these guys are out of range, so... Switch the rifles to assault once the enemy is suppressed, end the round, not the turn, and then switch to the rifle squads and make an assault on them. May end turn, not just round. Press this for spacebar to end the round. The enemy may then activate a leader in his units and then pass you back. Game turn will end if enemy passes since all your leaders are spent. Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a choice then. The field umpire makes another note on his clipboard. Great exercise so far, Lieutenant. And the lessons learned from the extended exercise will help save lives over there. Ah, the rare valid points. Proceed. Okay, so we are... Who right now? You? Flanked, surprise. So let's bolster. Bolster. And then... go hand to hand.
Stay low.
Take him on the flank.
You think I'd do this on purpose?
The other squad is taken prisoner. No running off this time. Whistles blow. Now the exercise is truly over. The umpire signals for you and Bennett to approach. Minor victory? I thought I had a major victory. Is it because I didn't cause my other rifles to fire, and so my men got wounded on the assault?
Being a strong leader also meant being able
Maybe?
to rely on others to help get the job done. That included fellow soldiers who had vastly different strengths and weaknesses than his own.
And so this exercise is over. His pencil makes a final note to the paperwork. Finish the field problem before turn 3. The referee determined this to be the best outcome possible for the current field situation. The casualties were minimal, below 10%. Full marks, but the next exercise will not be so easy. Okay, I guess. I guess it's still good. Bad luck on the RNG? Maybe, yeah. Assault as many components. Find the enemy, fix their squads. Finish their squads with bayonets. If you can do that for sure. Didn't have to do things in that order. You could fire the machine gun twice at the enemy, then hit the enemy with a mortar before sending in the rifle squads to flank an assault. Alternatively, an immediate flank and assault might have risked much in the hopes that surprise would suffice. If successful, your other squads could be employed elsewhere. Speaking of which, your men gather up all 3 squads. This is my platoon. Personalize your platoon? Right-click on your leader portrait to open it up. Then click the edit button. You can change the name, portrait, platoon's insignia. When you click on the officers, you can also change their insignia, but not their name or portrait. This belongs to the next exercise. So we can finally name Sergeant Unnamed. I guess just like not in this menu. Well, look, I'd like Dearborn to get some XP. This machine gun guy seems good. What's this? Trust earned. A leader that leads from the front will inspire more trust than one who stays in the back. Mechanically, this happens when a leader is with a unit in a firefight. More effective action in firefights earns more trust. Share risks with the men, but be effective doing it. I'm going to give Dearborn some trust as well, since that guy was the one who was doing all the bayoneting. I didn't apply any of that, did I? I did. Okay, yeah. All right, we got one more training mission to go. 2 houses, both alike in dignity, in fair Virginia, where we lay our scene. The lesser-known Shakespeare play.
No, no. When we left Fort Leonard Wood, nobody knew where they were going. I mean, they just loaded us on the train, and in fact, we didn't know where we were going until we got close to somebody, how it got out, but somebody said we were going to Camp Pickett, Virginia.
These interviews are very funny. Your men trudge down the road towards the next training site. A jeep comes the other way, burdened with great big army bags. Mail bags. Think that's our mail? Some of it has to be for Nickel Company. This could be for my parents, or my wife, or for my sweetheart. Yeah, let's go with our wife. Being separated from your wife is a hard thing. Marriage is supposed to be a bond, but right now the army comes first. Your men are certainly distracted by the possibility of their own letters, too. Sergeant Grant glances between Bennett and yourself, clearly eager for orders. No mail bags for us. Keep marching. Flag down the jeep and grab the mail for later. Double time march. Or 20 trust. Schedule a break. Give him the loyalty. You have Bennett flag down the jeep, and your imposing sergeant does precisely that by standing in the middle of the road and daring the driver to run him down. A brisk discussion results in the transfer of an army sack filled with letters. At lunchtime, the men can read them. You know it's bad when you're looking forward to a cold lunch. Could be worse. We could be Marines. Wow, what a diss. Show the men you understand. Very high chance of 5 trust. Yeah, let's make fun of the Marines. It's funny and true. The Marines are fat. Given the amount of amphibious training that is scheduled ahead, the margin of difference might be slimmer than your men might like. Still, a chuckle sweeps the ranks and dispels the consideration of the improbability of a hot lunch. The humor continues right up until the field umpire or the captain, as before, steps over and signals you to bring everyone to a halt. This is Integrated Company Command Operations, he says with a clipboard. The uniform is somehow crisp despite the heat, right down to the black band of the field umpire neatly set about his sleeve. The good news is that the next exercise is ready. The bad news is that you, Lieutenant, are not. Wait for the twist. You will not be a repeat of the last exercise. Lieutenant Stern and Lieutenant Dearborn will be part of Blue Forces. Oh man, I just leveled them up. Is that good? Oh, that maybe is good. You yourself will be acting as their captain and have limited time to consult with them. He taps his watch. Use up preparation time. Low chance for far more preparation time. No, let's just go. This guy sucks. He's not going to give us more time. Over top of the rise, you find 2 lieutenants in the midst of conversation. Stern paces about, kicking pine cones up with every step. Across from him is a man of bearing, tall without needing height, his hands clasped lightly behind him. Dearborn. Lieutenant, we were just discussing strategies while we wait upon the captain. Stern or Dearborn will eventually gain trust. Let's give it to Dearborn. I'm going to explain the situation. Stern begins to nod halfway through. Dearborn eventually comes around at the end. This appears to be a leadership field problem. Best we embrace it for the moment and talk strategy. What do we know about the enemy? Reinforced platoon from Red Force, at least 1 machine gun. I didn't hear about anything of that in the briefing. A very brief briefing. Might have mentioned it in passing. A warning whistle goes up in the distance. The flag goes up to the nearby radio men. The exercise is to begin. At least 1 machine gun. Okay. Let's get to it, Captain. The captain is a wild card for orders. He can activate any unit in his company, regardless of the active leader, by using the take command button. Furthermore, a captain can bolster, press, rally any squad in his company that's merely adjacent to him. In this scenario, you will play on maps as Captain Lamb so that you can learn about the captaincy role. An officer in a squad's chain of command must expend an order. Different squads, different icons. Once activated, a unit may spend orders without requiring an officer. Right, okay. Yeah, so it's just like the next guy up. Blue 4 and Red 4 originate from the 1824 Prussian war game Kriegspiel. Friendly pieces were Prussian blue, and red was chosen for contrast. Interesting. Classic Prussian. Captain can allow 1 platoon to really push. A lieutenant might not have enough orders to bolster, press, or rally a squad. The captain can do all that too, and from an adjacent hex so he doesn't get in the lieutenant's way.
You may think tactical leadership is all
Interesting.
about leading men in combat, difficult moral decisions. But frankly, a lot of it's about coordination, or what the military calls command and control. Wouldn't be a credible leadership RPG without some of that. And you've got some problems, LT. Look at you. You're inexperienced.
No XP
You've got
stars.
4 orders to run 3 squads. Contrast the captain. He's got 5 stars. He's got 6 orders to run. Wouldn't it be nice if you had that?
It would be
Maybe
nice.
someday you will. Now, you're running a platoon. You're not running Stern's weapon platoon. You're running your 3 squads. And the interface reinforces your spotting them. There are ovals for your platoon. They're also over here. And you have an insignia for your particular platoon. You're reminiscent of the Cottonbalers insignia. And by the way, you can customize that.
Okay, a whistle is blown. The exercise begins. Finish the exercise before turn 4. Men must suffer no more than light casualties.
Forward.
Select the captain, but do not move. After locating the hidden second step, rally this unit. All right. 2, rally button. Rally adjacent unit. Unlike a regular leader, the captain can bolster rally. Okay. I like that. That's cute for them to be like, okay, figure out what the move is. Or like just read better. Wait, no. After locating the second hidden step, rally this unit. Rally button. Left click the rally button. I see. The squad is getting their shite in gear, but we can press them to do more. Soldiering isn't about big desserts and beds of flowers. Together, you and Bennett get the men moving again. There's no time to rest, not yet. The press order will expend 1 leader order, but then refresh a single order for the squad. This is most often used when the squad's in a bad position, but is also spent and can't act. The squad becomes tired and can't be pressed again until it's rested either via the rally or the rest command. Select the captain, press the adjacent squad. Give him a point back.
There's another reason we do lead around, to emphasize another coordination problem, namely coordinating your company of 4 distinct platoons, independently led. That's not easy, and so the rounds force you to choose what platoon is doing what. And there's a last reason. The military likes to say, the enemy gets a vote, meaning they're not going to sit quietly while you do all the wonderful things you'd like to do. They
That's
might
fair.
want to do things that interrupt your plan.
Like play
That's what
chess.
happens in chess. You get a move, they get a move.
Nothing like a few sharp words from a sergeant to get the squad moving again. We either got to lay down some fire and see whether the enemy is hiding over there. Order recon by fire. Send a messenger to Dearborn, Sergeant Bennett asks. It's his men, and you'll probably have other things to take care of shortly. Captain's time is valuable, which is why you have subordinates that can act in tandem. Dearborn activates at least 1 squad under his command. 3 squads need not expend all their orders. Stern activates at least 1 squad. Dearborn squads may not spend orders unless the captain uses take command. This would cost the captain an order. Dearborn squads may activate without needing the captain to take command. If one of Dearborn squads has previously been activated, it might expend its orders without requiring an officer, blah, 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 blah. Your captain is vital to success. This will make more sense and give you less of a headache as you play. Okay. Have Dearborn order a recon by fire without having to pass the round. Captain can act in tandem with his subordinates. Stern, we're in a better position. Means that the enemy will not have a chance to act for a while longer. Use this squad. Click recon by fire. Fire on the hex. If an enemy is hidden there, there's a chance they will fire back and be revealed. As usual, shooting with a rifle squad will consume up to 2 orders. I guess you can hide anywhere. Aha! There they are. They're dug in like a dog. Time for mortars. Quick wave of flags gets Stern's attention, and there's now a question of targets. The refs wants 2 objectives taken, and they want casualties to be light. The 2 objectives are marked on map. Certainly the refs will tell you if the officials, when they have officially seized them, and if the enemy has taken them back. They will also tell you if you have inflicted the necessary casualties or destroyed key battle units. These clipboards are good for something after all. If no one is in possession, things get a little tricky, at least until someone puts up the proper flag. Casualties are inevitable, at least that's what everyone says, and so you know at least 1 seemingly healthy recruit has dropped dead from an undiagnosed heart condition. Regardless of why it happens, the more casualties a unit suffers, the worse it will be as a fighting unit. But right now, the men are fresh and the objective has not been taken. It's time to command. Kills have to be greater than 1 for the mission victory. Select the captain, click support button, access mortars, barrage the map. Artillery is more accurate and reliable, but less intense than off-map. So, select Captain Lamb. Click support mortars. Oh, no, I want that version again. I mean, we have another mortar company up here, which I feel like is going to need to be taken for one of those guys. So I'm going to take the off-map mortar. Quick response. You got HQ's attention. Flags go up. The enemy over there registers the hits. You've unleashed the 105s instead of the mortars. I will recommend remedial artillery identification for you. Now then, you still have mortars available. Proceed to the overlook position and act as a spotter for those lighter rounds. They're howitzers. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, it'll get them out of there, right? They're bigger shells. Exercise continues as you hurry up the hill. Mission complete. 105 millimeter withdrawn. We need to move through the forest.
So let's see some of these leadership problems of command and control in practice. We've got an assault situation. We're hoping to take out these Germans here. Make it a little clearer.
Learning.
Let's turn on bases. And why don't I bring down one of my squads? Notice up here it's indicating it's going to be my round because I'm doing something. So it's committed to moving my platoon. Now I could move everybody now, but I want to emphasize you don't have to do everything at once. Let's just say I want to pass, see what the enemy does. So I do. Luckily they're pretty passive. I'm going to creep these guys up. I'm going to use hotkeys to make this faster. Now I feel in pretty good position for an assault, but unfortunately it's my round, so I can't really start firing astern. Let's pass. Remember, leadership rounds, command and control.
You can see a lot from up here.
Stern's going to soften these guys up, hopefully. It's bolster, of course. You always want to do that to win a firefight.
Bolster really seems important. They've been stressing that a lot.
Got them red right away. Let's just do one more to be careful. Though when they're red, you're usually in pretty good shape for an assault. But why not be overly cautious once? But I want to keep the momentum going. Now here's my problem. What if they've got a leader in there who's going to rally them? The enemy gets a vote, right? So I can't make my assault this leader round because it's Stern's leader round. So what am I going to do? This is where your ace in the hole comes in. Your captain.
So the captain can act in anybody's turn, I guess. Here we go. A concealed view of the battlefield. Not perfect, but take a look at the house down there. The enemy is almost certainly inside. We could ring their bells with some artillery. Here comes some of it. Support artillery, 60-meter mortar. I guess let's go with this guy. He's probably, I'm just going to suppress. We don't know much about these guys. But I'd like to know more. Flags go up, the exercise is paused, the refs check your numbers and verify things with their range fire. Eventually, they agree the mortars were effective. That's the math, then. They look surprised, so let's follow up on those buildings before you recover. Discerning enemy capabilities is a key point of the exercise, the field umpire remarks. However, there is a little small other matter. Please continue, dear Empire. He squints pointedly and points down the hill to where the team of Stern's machine gunners have positioned their big wooden log. Trouble is, the weapon has a blind side in regards to that southern objective. Yell the order to bring down to the MG men. You draw a deep breath and prepare to let your voice carry down. Select the unit. Use the command. Take command button. This is the take command button. I guess. Right click on adjacent hex. All units face one hex side that determine their firing arcs, flanks, and rears. So we'll have them face that way. Stern's gunners swiftly reposition their wooden log. That'll have to do, Captain. You may say, fire when ready.
Captain Lamb here can do a couple of things. First, he's going to take this squad. You notice it's spent. And he's going to revive it. He's going to press it, give it an order. Notice he can do this even though it's your round, because he's the captain.
Right, okay, so he just acts whenever he wants.
I bet you can see where I'm headed now. And let's do the assault. Notice I get to do my assault during my round.
Turns round. You just charge it right in there? Wow, that's ballsy.
Hoping for the best. Ha.
Squad surrenders, no
I
resistance.
use the captain
Cool.
to glue my company together, to coordinate my weapons platoon with my infantry platoon. So, use your orders carefully. Place your leadership appropriately. Manage command and control. Command and control on the battlefield is hard. That's
All right.
why you've got the burden of command.
That makes sense. Why officers get rank bars in real life. The more bars means more actions. 2 houses, 2 objectives. Take all these objectives. Find the enemy, fix them into place by shooting, flank the position so your enemy can't open fire with their men, and finish them with an assault. You must use a squad to take an objective a leader alone will not do. So who am I on right now? I'm on Dearborn's turn. These guys are hit. All right, I'm gonna cowering. Those guys are flanked. We don't really know what's going on here with these guys is the problem. We hit them with a mortar shell, though, so... You can only bolster people if you're in their squad. You can't reach them, but they're also not suppressed. So, okay, I'm going to bolster these guys. And then I'm going to tell them... Too far. Oh, neither of them can go into that square. So I could take these melee guys and... No, I can't remember them either. Damn, dude. Okay. So you have 4 points left. And neither group can actually charge this hill, it seems. You're going to need 2 points to attack. Fix them into place by shooting. Flank the position so your enemy can't op fire with your men and finish them with an assault. You must use a squad to take an objective a leader alone will not do. Shooting at an already suppressed enemy is unlikely to have any additional effect. They already have their heads down. Most times, an assault will force the enemy to retreat or surrender. Ah, yeah, but they do have a command leader there, so that was arguably the right choice. But it's too far for them to go. So... Restores 1 leader. The leader cannot be pressed again. Tired. I guess I could have moved and then pressed. Oh, the captain can press them as well. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move you over. I'm gonna bolster.
Gentlemen, to me.
And then I'm gonna press them. Out of range. Oh, there we go. That'll work. We get a bit of a boost. It's not guaranteed. And we're going to have to go through some op fire, but they are suppressed. Those guys are facing the wrong way. I'm just going to go for it. Surrender? No resistance? Nice. Ooh. Uh-oh. But now I am suppressed. Not fresh, spent together. Okay, so the mortars have already gone, but Lieutenant Stern has not. I'm going to move him down. I'm going to let him bolster.
Let's go kick some tuchus.
Then with that tuchus, blocked line of sight. We're going to start suppressing these guys. They're cowering, but they're not all the way suppressed. Here's the thing. I don't know if I can do an op fire on these guys. I guess right now the answer is probably just like fully suppress these guys as much as I possibly can. Everyone is gone.
Hello, LT. I want to talk to you about one last nice aspect of your ace, your captain.
A little tiny hill in the way, yeah.
Adjacent. Doesn't sound that powerful, but it turns out to be quite efficient. So I'm going to have him bolster, I'll use hotkeys here, this adjacent member of your platoon. You didn't have to pay. Let's bolster these guys. Still didn't have to pay. Notice the enhanced movement.
Okay, so bolstering also gives you more movement.
You can even take command of one of my, or I'd say one of your platoon squads, and pay their initial activation for their move.
Oh, okay.
That leaves you free to do whatever you might need to do. Assault, lead firefights, etc. You can also rally. Powerful.
Wow, the captain's so handy. Flags up, flags down. No one's quite sure what's going on. There's some yelling between the umpires about the bombardment, but it makes little sense. Finally, the umpires refer to a telephone switchboard they've set up, stenciled on one file into the words, field radio. Look at that beast. Hope we don't have to lug it overseas. Stern leads the weapons platoon, Dearborn from the 3rd, but the field problem, you are their captain. The strategy is theirs. Other objective still needs to be taken. Got a glance at the clipboard. Sergeant Bennett remarks quietly as the two of you watch the radio operators work. He's going to rank your personal performance. That means leading an assault, bolstering squads, rallying squads, pressing them in, and then shooting the enemy, the whole smash. What's next, Captain? He asks as two of your 10 return to the field. Assault the objective, find the enemy, fix them with a suppression, flank their position, and finish them with an assault. So these guys are locked. Like they're fully suppressed. These guys are not. I could mortar them. I have 4 points. That's going to get rid of their op fire. I thought, but maybe not. I guess I haven't really determined who's going here first. Dearborn is down an order, which I don't understand. Right, and you can only bolster if you're on top of them, which isn't really convenient. So I could move you guys here. No, I can't actually even do that. What is all this stuff that's threatening? Is a big question I have. Or is it that these guys are still technically being suppressed? Machine guns take 2 to move. I think it's that these guys are partially suppressed, but not fully suppressed. Right, and I guess they don't have line of sight. Because they can only attack, what, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I could send Dearbo over here. I could rally these guys and have them attack. Tries to read a letter while he's running across the field. Doesn't sound like a good idea. We're going to rally these dweebs. Problem is that all these guys are stuck over here. Mission objective is greater than 2. Capture at least 2 objectives. Friendly casualties are at 1%. I mean, I could run these guys here and then use my captain to press them. Ah. Okay, I thought because these guys were suppressed, that would work. But I'm seeing now they're only partly suppressed. So I'm going to take command with these MGs. The umpire says no more suppression. That's a pretty good chance. I'm just going to take it. Oh my God. Okay, I need to move you here. Actually, I could move you all the way on him. And then I could press. Fix bayonets. Oh my god, because they got suppressed. I whipped it. All right, we whipped it. They can't do it. Yeah, because they got shot at. Or whatever. Now it's Lieutenant Stern's turn. And only riflemen can get into that position. You're fine. Nearby radio crackles. One of the refs cups a hands, blows a shrill whistle. Field umpire steps, points towards the clipboard at his side. He points towards the south edge of the field where 10 soldiers emerge from the brush wearing blue armbands. Who are they? They look human. No idea, sir. They are now your responsibility. Get those men out of the exercise area. While you're yelling at them, they'll be nickel company men. Activate this unit and move it away from the training exercise. Units can always attempt a retreat towards a friendly map edge. If the enemy isn't able to shoot at them, the movement will succeed despite the lower morale. Well, they're going to get shot going that way, probably. Well, that obviously doesn't work for me. I'm going to move these guys after. I'm going to start by rallying these troops.
Rally on me!
And then I'm going to press them. And then I'm going to bolster them. No, they don't need it. They've got that win. Well, I don't know. Actually, that's like a 50%, it looks like.
Come on!
That's still 50%. All right, whatever. Hand to hand. These guys failed to bolster. No resistance. Nice. Full surrender. What the hell? Sergeant Bennett asks. Sign, wait. Enemy bombardment, the field umpire indicates, and then writes something on the portion of the clipboard. Right on time. Heavy enough to mark the beginning of this exercise and the beginning of the review. Major victory. Double major victory. Exercise completed early. We don't got to retreat, man. We just got to win the fight. They look human. Yeah, it's a good response.
I think a good leader is a man who knows what has to be done and sets about to do it. But he also has to know about the people that he's got to do it with.
You're not liking a guy and you know he's got the ability to lead you. You don't care whether you like him or dislike him. First of all, guts. Second of all, brains. You ain't got the brains, you don't belong there.
That's true.
Because you're going to take men with you when he gets killed.
You don't want him to You want to take no measure.
That guy looks like he's had a hard life.
You want to get him in alive and get him out alive.
You got to look up to the guy and like him. If you don't look up to him and like him, you're not going to go with him. And then everybody tells you any different. They're talking through their hat.
Talking through their hat. I love it. The referees confer, clipboards are exchanged, a dialogue concerning your performance begins and ends. Secured both objectives before turn 4 with minimal casualties, below 10%. You failed to follow a direct order and put a wandering squad in danger, but that wasn't part of the criteria. Firstly, you failed to personally lead an assault. The field umpire indicates and idly taps the top of his clipboard with his pencil. I was with that group. I don't know why. Maybe I only had the squad selected. I don't know why the captain didn't go with him. If the men don't see you with them from time to time, they won't be half so eager to go in. Temporary morale bolstering efforts were acceptable. The men know your voice, Captain, and they'll respond. Rallying technique understood. It means you stepped in when you had to, even if someone takes it in the neck and the platoon keeps working. Fire direction unproven. When a captain directs fires, things gets done. It's a pass. Marginal, but acceptable. Good enough for the army brass, I guess. Eventually gain 3 XP. Just about the squad I ignored? No notes on the errand squad. Instead, it indicates that you successfully used both the radio and personal orders to coordinate your men. After all, a captain leads his men. He doesn't just command them. So, I passed? Barely. Here's the breakdown. You didn't participate in an assault. You only bolstered the men once. You only rallied once. You did not fire alongside the men. They need more direction after they bolster. Tomorrow's another day. Do we have another day of training? Empire's such a grunt. No positive affirmations, right? Not the one. How are we feeling with everybody here? Old Lieutenant Wilson has no XP. Oh man, Lieutenant Stern has actually lost trust in me, so I'm gonna boost him up. I'm gonna boost this guy a little bit. Put some XP on the 3rd platoon. Feels good to me. I'm at this weird like part where I'm like, I like that they don't hold your hand, but I also wish they held my hand a little more. Having a list of those objectives on the side would be good. But it depends. Borg?
On why are gay people always smiling? They can't keep a straight face.
Oh, very good.
That's where we left from. We left from
very good
news when we.
Is this still the tutorial? I mean, I guess technically,
And
right? Because we're still in Virginia,
did you
yeah.
know where you were headed at that point in time?
Nope. Nobody knew where we were going or anything. I mean, until after we were out to sea for, quite some time. And then somebody
This guy's like, nobody told us Jack the whole time. First they were like, you're going to Virginia. But only once we got there. Then we were put on a boat. In the middle of the boat, we're going to Africa. The barracks at the other end of the courtyard are quiet. And still, as you approach, the starlight glance at your watch finds it's almost time to resume training. You've had it easy these last days. No doubt he's eager to rouse the men. Early to bed, early to rise makes them better soldiers. Give him an hour. Let's give him some extra experience here. The lights come on and the orders begin. Those who are slow to wake up aren't flipped out of their beds, but they're chided until they're ready via shite, shower, and shave. After a quick and hot breakfast, they grab their gear and stumble in the dark. A brisk hike ensues. The map takes you right up a ravine, and the men stumble forward the best they can. Halfway to the top, the field umpire stands out from behind a tree, expected clipboard in hand. Sole exercise of the day, company level operation. You're to secure the road ahead, both the crossroads near the Red Apple Orchard and the hill overlooking it. Why are the peaks always on top? Private Morris asks. They've always been up there, Private Patterson replies. Tradition. Hell, this'll be easy. We know our stuff, Lieutenant. Fire and movement, bombardments and assaults. Nothing to worry about. Just a bit of walk getting there. The field ump blows the whistles. Enemy machine gun plunging fire. 2 casualties. Choose one of these men. He points to Morris and Patterson. Patterson points to Morris. Morris points back to Patterson. Can we cut them in half? Patterson won't be so noisy as a casualty. Morris will complain less as a dead man. Wait, the merits of Morris versus Patterson. For all their wisecracking, both men are competent soldiers. Patterson definitely is clever of the two, but has easygoing southern charm. But Morris has an excellent bullhorn voice, and he needs to be heard in hard-headed New York practicality to back it up. If too long, Lieutenant, both men are dead. I had a feeling that was going to happen. The company other casualty is your Sergeant Bennett. However, if you will be able to accompany you in spirit, as it were, but he not pass along your commands. Sergeant Grant to the front. Your platoon guy will be the replacement. Very well. We will now proceed with the exercise. Grant comes forward. A swift explanation puts him in charge of the platoon. Both your sergeants look your way as the whistle blows once more. The rest of the men brace themselves for the uphill struggle. One thing. It seems like every field probation includes a part where if we forget about cover, the refs would subtly remind us. They love to shout out sniper. Not the sergeant. Now nothing will get done. Since we know that, why don't we creep forward and take a quick look around? It'll slow us down, but they're waiting for us anyway. Oh, this is going to be teaching us about creep. Use the creep forward button. A unit that creeps forward will expend 2 orders and move 1 hex. It will not be subject to op fire. Chance to remain, not become hidden. Okay. So we'll grab both of these guys. And we'll use the creep button. And there they are, a detachment of enemy soldiers waiting in the woods for you to come strolling towards the hill. Well, they're in for a surprise. You turn to Sergeant Grant and consider how best to secure the crossroads and the elevated position. Finish before turn 8. Suffer no more than light casualties. Okay, we can get some guys up through this forest, secure the crossroads, and secure that. Okay, so I want some guys up actually through all of those trees, probably. If I could seize this position before we take the crossroads, that would be ideal. These guys are looking north. So who's down here? Must have sufficient orders to creep. Have you go that way. Pass the turn. Shot from above. I didn't even have a chance to move those guys.
We should go forward.
Well, we'll get some troops into position at least. Oh my God. MGs outrange rifles. German MGs outrange other MGs because it's a terrifying weapon. Thankfully, one that is not on this battlefield. Why did he run forward to there? That's not where I told him to go. All right. Because he's cowering. Dude, I am extremely confused on why that did. Panic, maybe? Yeah. We're getting licked. Second platoon coming up. Wilson must have hustled them right over the ridge, unlike us. If training were a game of chess, this would be a strong move. He points towards a hillside where 30 men, along with the umpire, scramble along the crest. 30 runners making a contract shortly. Okay. I don't have a commander in this this one here either. These guys are all hidden. So you could go here. Okay, this is awful. I'm getting absolutely pummeled. My guys are still hidden, but they were spotted by these guys. That does not make a lot of sense to me. May reveal hidden enemies if used to fire on seemingly empty hexes. Reduces XP chance. Will also indicate the maximum range and line of sight of this weapon's. Okay, so I am also getting suppressed there, though, as well. Which is a disaster. I think we got to redo this mission for sure. Rally. They have a nearby rally. Okay. From above, surprised. Dudes. So even though they shot at me last time, I'm not getting like notifications of where they are. And that literally used all of his entire movement. Like he didn't get back 80 points. So you could say creep. And it feels like the best thing I could really do here is like take surprise shots at these guys. We did an unknown amount of suppression. I was hoping to come through here, but I guess I'm confused. So the red is not necessarily op fire?
Only so much shit a man can stand.
This is a disaster. All these guys just got revealed. Potential interception fire. Lieutenant jogs and halts before you. Stern says we can have the mortars ready to pound the enemy whenever the refs blow the whistle. The weapon platoon legs even further behind. We should have sent a runner to show him sight lines. Stern knows his work. Line of sight tool. The enemy has an elevation which makes their line of sight superior, especially anything atop the hill where that MG is set up. You can check the line of sight of any hex by left-clicking it. Shaded hexes will show what can be seen. If need be, line of sight reveals even more detail. Now they teach me. Oh, that's ridiculous. So the one point I ran through there at the top of the hill is in line of sight, and I actually wouldn't have had line of sight if I walked through like here or even just went one further into the forest. So this guy somehow has line of sight to these back lines. That guy does as well. This guy's somewhat limited. Okay. Oh, we got to move the mortars way up, though.
Move that mortar.
Mortars use indirect fire to rain explosives from the enemy. So you guys can go there. We got like terrible line of sights from this location. But if we moved up one, we'd be fine.
Faster.
So I'm just going to do that. And then I should be able to press this guy, right? This is how I understand this to work.
We ain't done yet.
And open fire on these guys. Reveals their leader, which is great. And suppresses that main squad. Only have 6 seconds to run from cover to cover. It's not bad if so. We're going to suppress down here. These guys could probably charge us if they wanted. Man, my leaders being suppressed is really brutal. If I could shoot these guys with a couple of squads, 1, 2, well, I guess I could do like 1. What's my plan? All these guys are still hidden as well. They have a shot, but it's not very good. They do pretty solid damage. I want to get rid of this leader is the problem. Happily signed up. Go ahead for it. Being scripted, not a fun fact to learn. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take this guy. I'm going to bolster with him. Bolster? No, I'm going to rally with him.
We are not finished yet.
Now, unfortunately, I can't do really anything else with them, but... This guy also needs to rally down here.
Don't you give up on me.
And then it's back to my turn. Too far.
Let's get back out there.
That'd probably go pretty bad. They have a lot of morale. But what I could do is I could shoot them once with this guy and then charge them, and we could just go for an early charge. They're surprised, heavily suppressed. This looks like a pretty high initiative chance. I'm going to do it. Shit, Sergeant Stryker says as the refs decide that the assault didn't work, we need to get the men fired up before we do try that again. Make sure you're using a high morale unit when attempting an assault and bolster them. Why not? I guess we just keep them suppressed. I mean, here's the thing. As long as you keep suppressing them. Captain Lamb wants you over to that command post now, and that's a direct order. Refs finally let our captain in. Wondering what the Nickel Company's commander would be allowed to take part in the exercise for whatever reason that time is now. Map in hand with 3 other messengers, one for the 2nd, 3rd, and weapons platoon. These fellows really want to put us in a pickle, don't they? The refs delight in our torment. At least they claim to have a purpose. The umpires say we need to take that hill without taking too many casualties. What do I need to know? Where were they keeping you? Shoved a heap of mess hall trouble my way. Claimed it couldn't wait, but I threw Sergeant Landry at the paperwork and snuck out. Trying to move forward. Develop your plans. What are the sight lines? The hill does dominate. They got an MG that outranges our rifles. They probably got more squirreled away. Left click a hex and then hover over different hexes to see further details such as elevation changes. Okay. Cover's good for us, but also good for them. Anything else? Let's get to it. Yes, sir. Not going to salute again. I'll get killed by a sniper. Just learned that lesson. All right. Having a commander makes a huge difference. Bolster.
We're gonna pound them flat.
Squad. Charge.
You got gum on your boots? Get going.
Flee. They're ambushed. No resistance. Okay, that's a whole squad leader here we take out. And then I mean, I could hold and potentially rush these guys as well. With the whole gang. But you know what? Let's just shoot him. Pin him down. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. So we got one squad up here. I'm kind of thinking like we shoot them, then we bolster, and then we charge them. Oh, it uses 2 points. Practice? I'm going to bolster. Now I'm going to press him.
More shit, more fan.
And I'm going to take the whole gang. And we're going to charge him.
Fuller.
Oh, the machine gun. God damn, that machine gun is brutal. Yeah, you're right. I got to try to get that mortar up more. All right, if I could get the mortar to here. Yeah, we got to move up way more than that. I wish I had like smoke grenades. That'd be real handy dans. Stern is down here with the MGs, which is not really helping me much. Can't move there without being shot. So I don't really want to do that. Oh, man, I'd like a button that's just like, what are the threatened squares? You know, what do we know they have line of sight on? Removes the tired status from a unit if they're pressed. I guess let's just keep trying to move these guys up a little bit. Sorry, what's the line of sight on this guy? There and there. Okay. So you could go here to here. And potentially be fine. You don't have great line of sight on anybody, but that'll work for right now. Dearborn. I'm just going to move you up all the way. I thought maybe we might find some more people in those hills. We could. Creep takes 2. No, you can only press. Okay, I'm gonna rally these guys.
Rally on me.
I'm gonna press these guys. Which I thought was going to give them an additional movement, but it actually didn't. Oh, they do have line of sight there. Okay. Let's get into these trees then. I think Captain Lamb. Just going to move you here. And then there. Press those guys. Can they even shoot anybody from here, though? No, not really. All right. That's turn end. Wonder what tricks they've got planned for us. The way Bennett tells it, the fellows are trying these exercises, trying to be clever. Enemies prepared, chosen this ground for a specific reason. Crossroads and machine gun position them in the red team's hand. But Bennett looks a slip over to you. He doesn't look dead tired. How are you holding up, LT? Well, we haven't taken the crossroads yet. We can talk about how they work, especially this field problem, as well as solutions. No, never mind. Good talk. Secure the crossroads. We're almost there. We're almost there. You've got to rally.
Let's pay for our breakfast.
And then we've got to try to get ahead a little bit more. I mean, that's the only thing I could do with him. I probably should have moved some other people first. Yeah, those guys just rallied because of that. Okay, so we have some troops here, and I think we probably have some troops here. Oh, no, there's another leader. Oh, that's really good if we could wipe him out. That'd be excellent. That's probably going to be most of their units, though, so why don't we... I need Dearborn Company up here to clear these guys out so I can move the mortar in. Ain't no two ways about that. In the meantime, I suppose you could like bolster.
Gentlemen, to me.
And then we could just shoot these guys. It's a blocked line of sight. Let's rally.
Rally around me.
Where can the mortar shoot? It's like pretty limited a lot of the time. Right now here. So I gotta move it up more if I wanted to get into a proper position. All right, we can move it here. That's a safe move, actually. You guys can't shoot up into that hill, though. I mean, I'm gonna have to mortar strike those guys out of the hill. All right, hold on, hold on. Right now, it's my MG team. Guys, here or here? Your squad. Your squad can blind fire here. The way they said that led me to believe that there's probably a set of troops there. But I also want Stern and this mortar squad to be able to move up. Which they absolutely can do.
That position. Now.
Great little spot. We'll turn them that way and they should be fine. All right, well, yeah, that MG's got one more round. Let's just pump him in here. Let's see if we can't get this crossroad. You're my last commander here. So many of your troops are in the back. If we wipe out this guy, though, we can actually make some progress. So... shooting them's pretty straightforward. Right now, they've got pretty good vision. I don't think I can shoot up that hill with this team. But I'm willing to find out. No, man. Could they now? They probably could now if I pressed them. Out of range. Oh, I can only press directly next to me. That's right. And we also have a whole other squad back here that I'm not effectively using. We're not really like moving up in tandem very well. Okay, I think I'm just going to bolster.
Let's get back out there.
And then shoot these guys.
Light 'em up.
Undaunted. I think we killed some of them there. Ah, I can use my commander to move these guys is what I can do. I can actually take command with them. Oh, that would be useful. Clears up a bit of the problems with, like, how do I move forward? Okay. Stern, you got a point, but it's not going to do anything for you. So turns left 10. Artillery is now available to your company. Your Captain Lamb will call in the coordinates as you would in the field. We need to rule for delays and accuracy of fire. Big guns. I'm sorry, does that mean like howitzers? Still can't actually hit it though. What about this bad boy? I can't see up the hill. Ergo, I can't shoot up the hill. Okay. I'm gonna wipe out this general first then. Is what I would like to do. I don't know, like the squad is suppressed, but the commander is not. I feel like if I bolster with you and then just charge.
Give it to him. Frag out.
We should be able to do that. No resistance. Cap squad surrenders. Get immediately hit with the MG fire and lose a couple guys. Ooh. Brutal, brutal, brutal. That's okay though. We also can rally here, so we know there's another commander in around here somewhere. Ooh, and there's one up here. They might have actually moved that guy off the hill. So let's go with this guy. Because I should be able to do a bolster and just charge this squad as well.
Come on.
That is giving me a very low percentage chance, but let's try it. In the red. Low morale squads can be rallied either in their hex, in their adjacent lieutenants, or by an adjacent captain. We're getting a little bit of suppression, but it's not too bad. Okay, Hickone, if I go any further, that MG is going to rip me to pieces. Quite literally in any direction. What happens if we shoot there? Just looking for people. This guy can creep. So let's do that. Because then this MG can probably also do some damage. I can pass the turn and just like come back to him after. Yeah, these guys are not suppressed yet. Why don't we hit him with a bolster?
We're not licked yet.
And then open fire. The umpire says no more suppression. Target cannot be further suppressed. Well, if you say so. Mortars. Creeping up the hill. These MGs. Can't really get them anywhere good right now.
Let's go.
I guess we'll just move forward a tiny bit at a time. And then I want to say, like, if you could press those units. This guy could press and we could charge into that cavalry squad. But my morale here is like not great. And I will probably eat some fire. If you move here. Are you okay? Yeah, you're totally okay. How was that? A grenade? A mine? Now I can press this guy. Bolster.
Ready yourselves.
Charge. Nailed it. Counter mortar in the top left. Ooh. What happened to that charge just then? I ain't sure. All right. That's pretty much our movement points here, like right now. So there's not much more we can do. I actually have to save it because I need to run right now. So that's going to be our first look. Just at the crossroads of Burden of Command. I'm interested in this game. I'd be kind of curious to coming back to this. I feel like we've only just been going through the tutorial today, so I want to see maybe what some of the actual gameplay is like. It is coming out next month, so maybe we revisit it a little closer to the actual date itself. But in the meantime, thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here soon.